They celebrated our end too soon. After the orbital bombardment ceased and the enemy fleets vanished into the folds of space, after our cities burned and our satellites bled from the skies like dying stars, they called it a victory. Broadcasts rippled across the galactic network in 1,000 dialects. Humanity has fallen. The war is over. But they didn't see what smoldered beneath the ash. They didn't understand the anatomy of a species that evolved from struggle, carved civilization from chaos, and raised monuments atop mass graves with blood still wet in the mortar. They mistook silence for surrender, a fatal miscalculation. The Zenith Accord, a loose but terrifying alliance of outer rim empires, had launched a cleansing campaign after human expansion reached Proxima Theta. We'd made contact, offered trade, diplomacy, even cultural exchange. They replied with plasma fire and orbital weapons that stripped continents. Earth lost 3 billion in 3 days. Mars went dark. Lunar Command was glassed. But we never signed surrender. We never even sent a message. Because the people who survived weren't politicians or peace envoys. They were survivors. Engineers trapped in bunkers. Mechanics deep in underground depots. Veterans with scars and memories far older than this war. They were the kind of people who didn't talk. They rebuilt. It started with noise in the void, old military frequencies, encrypted chatter. Zenith Command dismissed it as human static, final pulses of a dying race. They didn't know we'd buried an entire weapons division beneath the Pacific seabed, Project Ember. They didn't know it was never dismantled, just hidden. When those ancient war vaults opened and fusion lines hummed again, when men and women with war-born tattoos emerged from the dark, humanity changed. We didn't rebuild to reclaim Earth. We rebuilt to burn across the stars. The first counterstrike was simple. A Zenith outpost on Zernas. 3. Quiet, arrogant, defenseless. Our drones didn't knock. They entered orbit cloaked in EM shadows, dropped carbon bore slugs into every core reactor. No broadcast. No survivors. No explanation. The Accord panicked. Another attack followed, this time coordinated, brutal. Earth built ships that shouldn't have existed, piloted by voices they thought were silenced. We struck silently with precision and purpose. For every child incinerated on Earth, an enemy colony vanished. We didn't return to diplomacy. We erased the concept. Fleet Admiral Cassari of the Zentari Dominion, the one who gave the final strike order, delivered a speech praising peace after our extinction. 1 week later, her capital station exploded mid-sentence. A human AI had infiltrated their security mesh, uploaded into their holonet, and triggered a reactor implosion calibrated to her heartbeat. They called it terror. We called it closure. Across the Accord, whispers began. They're alive. They're fighting back. They're not human anymore. Maybe we weren't. Maybe what they created wasn't humanity as they remembered it. But we remembered everything. The screams, the silence, the betrayal of peace. We weren't trying to survive anymore. We were reclaiming our dead, one world at a time. Vanguard Squad Delta, 9 operated deep inside the Vraxian Ring, a fortified quadrant thought impenetrable. 6 humans. No backup. Armed with relic gear refitted in the new forges beneath the Andes. Low signature, high lethality. They didn't need a fleet. They needed 30 minutes and a cause. The ring collapsed after their incursion. Vraxian command logs, what was left, showed only one message from Delta, 9 before the system went dark. Round 2 starts now. The Accord's leadership fractured. Internal blame. Sabotage. Fleets pulled back to defend their cores. But the humans didn't attack core worlds. Not yet. We went for their silence zones. The black sites where they'd taken prisoners, tortured scientists, dissected diplomats. We freed them if they were still breathing. If not, we left a message carved in alloy and bone. You woke the wrong ghosts. By the 3rd month, humanity wasn't just fighting. We were winning. Old Earth ships had been modified, stripped of elegance, built for brutality. Some were more weapon than vessel. The Remembrance, the first of the Lazarus-class dreadnoughts, didn't have living quarters. It was an AI-driven revenge engine fueled by orbital cores and piloted by the uploaded minds of 20 dead Earth generals. Its mission? Annihilate any Accord planet marked with the Crimson Seal. The AI never deviated. Accord worlds burned. The galaxy began to understand. They hadn't defeated us. They'd ignited us. A summit was called. Emergency war councils among alien empires, once divided by language, by creed, by species. They came together in terror, not unity. Messages flooded the stars. Negotiate. Peace. We'll pull back. Spare our young. They sent envoys. One even dared approach the ruins of Geneva Station in orbit, waving white flags and data scrolls filled with reparations and apologies. A lone human ship decloaked above them, black, silent, massive. The envoys were not attacked. They were ignored. Because humans didn't come to talk anymore. We came to finish. On the ground, the ghost battalions were already moving. Soldiers augmented by tech born from desperation, powered by grief, enhanced by vengeance. These weren't government armies. These were the lost, the widowed, the orphaned, people with nothing to lose but fire in their veins. Across scorched battlegrounds, the words echoed. They thought it was over. We're just getting warmed up. An alien general named Arwarek once famously said, "The human spirit is like fire. You think you've quenched it, and then it burns hotter." He died screaming 2 days after making that statement. His flagship dragged into a collapsing black hole courtesy of gravity weapon humanity had promised never to build. Promises didn't matter now. By month 6, entire Accord sectors were abandoned. Ships left docked. Stations sterilized. Populations moved deeper into space, into cold unknowns, hoping distance meant safety. But it didn't, because humans had already cracked fold stream travel, a technology previously forbidden. We need jump gates. We made our own paths, and we followed. The war wasn't over. It had evolved. So had we. From scientists to soldiers, from artists to assassins, from peacekeepers to predators. The galaxy had assumed our warmth was weakness. They didn't know warmth was just the precursor to ignition. Now they knew. And somewhere in the heart of the last human bastion beneath the Andes, an old man who had lost everyone stepped away from a glowing console. A new ship, Ashbourne, had launched. Its engine was named after his daughter. Its weapon system bore the name of his wife. On its hull, scrawled in massive white letters, was a phrase that would haunt the stars for centuries. "We are not done.